humans, hippies, earthlings, whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, and if you're lucky enough indeed to be doing it too. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Bushka on Blitz, and I've got a couple of games for you today that I think are really important, and I want to not just show them to you as high damage games, like a standard replay. I want you to think about something, and it's a big reason why a lot of people never have these kind of games. I want to really talk about something called the farm position. And this is something that if you've ever played in tournaments, you'd know about if you played seriously at a higher level. There's a whole strategy around like big heavy tanks and then putting a tank that is... I mean, if you watched the absolute most amazing example of that is if you watched the Twister Cup finals where Raid went hog wild and Messi was on the grill on Fort Despair. That is the epitome of a farm position where the whole team went and held the guys from the Russian server in place until Messi's grill could get locked and loaded and just start raining unholy hell. And the trick really, a lot of the time, to amassing these kind of big damage games like you're going to see here from Her Noob, and after this one, an incredibly large game by Ryugu on Blitz in the Chieftain Mark 6. And I picked these tanks. It wasn't an accident. Like, this is an M103 and a Chieftain Mark 6. Neither of them are massive tanks in terms of armor profile, and neither of them are what you would call tanks that can just sit there and pump damage out. They absolutely require a fine touch, and specifically the M103, it's not a high DPM tank. But both of these games really highlight how if you are a little bit knowledgeable with regard to the map and position, you can use your team as the farm position, and that's not a bad thing. A lot of people will get upset in Blitz when people don't play a role like a heavy tank, but an M103 and a Chieftain Mark 6 should not really be side-scraping on the front line and trying to, you know, that, like, for instance, that Tier 9 mouse shin, that's a tank that really needs to angle and dangle and be on the front line, and he's doing that thing. But unfortunately for him, in clearing that IS-3, he's going to take a little bit of damage from the Her Noob machine here, and that all comes out in the wash at the end. And look at this position. All the good guys in the green team are really in terrible spots and are getting farmed up hard by a bunch of tanks in the red. Most notably, like, there's an E75 sitting in the TD position there. The T44 is flanked around. The T49 is doing good things to bad people. These are all very, very good examples of a team working cohesively together and pincering down. The thing is, though, Her Noob is just in an absolutely divine position in the middle. He has an overlook on anyone. And as they move forward to take that damage out of his teammates, he's punishing them. And that's a good thing. That's really what you want a tank to be doing. And there's the tortoise. He's gone all the way around the map. Her Noob has got to the farm position. And this is one of the reasons why he has such a massive game. He got here at like 6-minute mark. He's not going anywhere. He is going to sit here and get one of the highest ever damage scores in an M103 on the EU server. And he's going to do it with very, very little in terms of movement. And that's not a knock on him. He plays this one absolutely to perfection. He's in a tank that is not exactly an impenetrable Maginot line. It can get bounces like that, but it certainly has to work hard for them. And it's got a very nice gun for a heavy tank. But look at the way he is maintaining this spot here. He's absolutely giving the red guys nothing to go on. He's moving consistently backwards and forwards to foil the aim of that tortoise and that T44. But he's not giving up this farm position. And this is if you want to get these big damage games. And I know a lot of people will yell at me for this, because I've got to tell you, if you're a newer player to Blitz, the good players, the guys with 30,000 games, the guys who've got that 60% win rate and that 2k average damage, and up from there, you know, they don't want you to know this. This is like the thing that they absolutely don't want you to know. Because the way me and people who are experienced work is we use your hit point pool. We let you take hits and we smash damage in from farm positions. it works. And if you've got people who are 60% and 70% win rate on your team, there's a reason why that works. And you'll actually win the game. So, I mean, it's a double-edged sword. You might not do massive damage amounts as you trundle forward and absorb hits, but you've got experienced players on your team who know the positions to put themselves into to actually take advantage of your poking out sideways or your over-angling in your IS-3 or your TD that's on the front line and doesn't have a turret. But in essence, they find these positions of power, these areas where, I mean, look at all the damage he's done from this spot up top. It's monumental, absolutely monumental. He has just chucked on such a huge amount of damage. He's at 5k already, and there's still a full Yag Tiger to go. I mean, this is a heroic performance from her noob, and he's done the right thing, and he's played this well. Anyone that wants to have a go at him for being where he is, he's halfway across the map. He didn't sit in spawn to do this. He pushed until he got to a position that the red team allowed him to get to. He took what the defense gave him, and then he set about just unleashing a torrent of 400 alpha shots at the bad guys. Great game, by the way. Really good game. And if you ever want to know how to drive the 103, this is it. You've got gun depression, you've got a lovely gun, you've got a troll armor profile, and when you're the top tier tank, you should take advantage of that and just dump massive sweaty wads of DPM all over the red tier 8s. That's what he did. Good job, amigo. Massive damage and a really good drive. And I'm going to show you one more game. Now, this is a little bit more advanced, this one. That's 6,621 damage. Her noob, outstanding. This is Ryuga on Blitz. You know, there are so many people out there with on Blitz in their name. And I only thought about this when I saw this review. I did that. That freaks me out a little bit. I mean, that's the funniest thing. That I find that really shocking. That I put on Blitz in my name as a throwaway sometime 4 years ago, and that's now a thing that you'll see people Bob on Blitz and Barry on Blitz and Greg on Blitz. Like, this is people who have taken up that kind of moniker, which is pretty cool. Again, have a look at where Ryuga's gone. Now, this is a much tougher game, in my opinion, because the Chieftain is a good tank, but at this tier, while it has incredible DPM, it is absolutely wafer thin. And I don't want to go too far into detail, but they've done some funky things with the armor that they haven't talked about. And no one's really talked about. And I don't want to screw the Chieftain, so I'm not going to talk too much about it, because it's one of my favorite weird tanks that tier 10 to run. But look at the position he's in. He's gone as far as the actual red team will allow him without putting himself in a poor spot. And now he's just farming damage up. Only problem is, he's just been spotted. Gets a nice max roll there. Gets a nice bounce. But there's still a lot of unspotted red tanks right now. There's 3 of them, which is giving Ryuga some anxiety, let's say. That Yag Tiger, though, is an absolutely gorgeous target. Hard to skip that one. Lovely work. But those guys over there are no longer on the map. And he's got to watch out that the T110E4's Amigo that was up there on the hill doesn't suddenly sprout wings and come out and have a hit. But this is the farm position. This is absolutely the farm position. This is where you go. You can see that there's a guy directly behind him who's causing him no end of punishing in a Mousechen, and the Mousechen is not exactly the kind of tank that needs to be here. It's low DPM, it's got a crappy gun. Oh, he takes a big hit from that 7201K. And, you know, I mean, remember how I talked about how the armor on the 7201K was just crap? I mean, yeah, this is a good trade, though. I mean, this is APCR going through a tier 10 heavy that is hull down. And it's going to go through again. Straight through the turret. Through the turret on a tier 10 heavy. Freak. He's not moved. He's not moved, but he's had to pay more attention because the incoming damage was going to be so much more prodigious. And you can see now he's doing great great things in this position. Farm position. He's hardly exposed himself to danger, but he's been very, very aware of that and made sure that he hasn't given those guys opportunities to hit him. That T110E4 was a big worry. He cleared that. Once that was clear, it was all fun and games. And look at this ammo swapping. Lovely work, amigo. Lovely, lovely work. He has been on the pump the entire time. Happy to take one there and give a 420 shot back to the E100. So that's it, boys and girls. If you're new to the game and you want to know, you know, the one thing that the good players, the guys in those top clans don't want you to know, it's that you get farmed off. And I don't think that's particularly wrong, but it happens. And yeah, maybe you should start paying attention to some of these videos and these positions and getting a little bit of the love in your for yourself. So I'm Bushka. Thank you so much for watching. Look after yourselves. And as always, stay safe on the battlefield. And how about this game? Wait till you see the numbers on this. Your eyes will pop. Arrgh. See you, humans. Oh, yeah, I just got a new iPad. iPad Pro 12.9. It's pretty crazy. 8,022 damage. Good on you, Ryugu. Thanks very much for sending in the replay. Until next time, stay safe on the battlefield.